for me in general, like inflammation, it's really diet. You know, like the supplements really will add to it, but
oh yeah, always.
I had to learn how to eat, right? Because when I was younger, it was all about calories in, calories out, and whether or not I could get bigger. And you can get away with eating a lot of shitty food and still getting in shape.
Yes.
Right, as long as you control your calories. But my thing was like, I didn't necessarily, like, as I'm getting older, I don't feel good.
Yes.
Right? And look at it like this. Like, we do everything to feel good. We go out and drink alcohol to feel good. We go out and we get more sleep to feel better and feel good. You have sex because it feels good. Everything is to feel good. Why wouldn't you eat to feel good all the time?
Boom! Boom! What's up, everyone? Marc Lobliner.
Bringing the boom back.
Chief Marketing Officer, TigerFitness.com, alongside Jerry Ward. Welcome, brother. So we're old as fuck. And we figured what a better way to do a video than to talk about longevity. And we have a few things. Now, Jerry, when you think about longevity, I'm going to go ahead and take my Dull Pro right now. My time to grow. I actually do take Jerry's supplements. I know. No, this is for real. I am so excited about this. Is my favorite product right now on the market that I don't make.
It's true. He hugged me when I came here. He hugged me.
It has made me a better person. But anyway, we'll talk about that later. Let's talk about longevity. Jerry, when I say longevity, what do you think about?
Well, I think about being healthier and having a better quality of life as you get older, right? Having an overall, a good functioning immune system, and being able to go through your whole day having enough energy, not being exhausted. Basically just being the best version of yourself as you get older.
Yeah, I think of it as two-pronged. One is living longer, two is living better. Living better, living longer. Put them together, you live a long, amazing life.
Better.
High quality of life, right? So let's just go into different topics. Now, first thing I want to say is we'll start with the one that a lot of people will be like, I don't know about that. But I'll tell you what. Look, man, I'm 40. I'm out there, I'm training harder than any 20 or 30-year-old in the gym. I'm coaching, I'm doing all these things. A lot of it is because when you get older, your hormones start to decline. It just fucking happens. Now, some people are lucky, they'll keep 1,000 testosterone into their 40s or 50s or even 60s. I've seen it. Most of us, it declines. That's why I'm a huge proponent, if needed, of hormone replacement therapy. Now, I'm not talking about trenbolone. That's not hormone replacement therapy. I'm not talking about a gram of test a week. What I'm talking about is replacement dose. For some people, that might be 100 milligrams a week of testosterone. For some people, that might be 200 milligrams. It depends on your androgen receptors. It depends on your genetics, your size, all that stuff. So for me, HRT with testosterone, low dose HGH. My doctor has me on 2 IUs of HGH 5 days a week with 2 days off. There is a reason for that, I'm not quite sure of it, and I mean, there's a reason, but it's not my department, right? That's why I'm a doctor. And then there's, those are the main two things, Jerry. What's your opinion on HRT?
I think if it's needed, it's a great thing. Yes. I think a lot of people are under the impression that they go buy a bottle of test at the gym and they're on HRT. You need blood work to tell whether they have HRT, and so if you don't need it, your doctor's probably not going to prescribe it to you. But not having testosterone and having too much testosterone pretty much are just as bad as each other.
Yes.
Having things leveled in balance is where you really want to be. And I think most doctors nowadays would tell you having the low testosterone is just as bad as having too much. So if you go in there and you get blood work done and you need it, I think most doctors are apt to prescribe it now, whereas it's not as taboo as it once was because they realize the health benefits long-term of the testosterone replacement.
You have a lot of guys, there was an article in Entrepreneur Magazine about Wall Street executives being on hormones.
Really?
Being on HRT. I wish I could find it. It was a couple years ago.
It's come so far since when it first started.
Because people want that edge in the workplace, or they just don't want to be tired, and they want to be able to go home and fuck their wife.
Right.
Or their mistress, or whatever they're doing on Wall Street, right? So I'm a big fan of HRT, and beyond HRT, if you're looking at injectable things, I really like 1 to 2 times a week, 200 milligrams of injectable glutathione.
2 thumbs up, glutathione.
Glutathione saved your life.
Glutathione did save my life. I actually had a liver issue based on a supplement that I actually bought online that was a 100% legal supplement. And it pushed my liver enzymes up to 700.
Which it should be around 35.
Yeah, so those of you that don't know, it's a liver transplant area. And the doctor was like, and I told him, I said, I'm not on steroids or anything like that anymore. Like, I don't know what it could be. We cleaned out everything in my supplements and diet and everything. And we did the glutathione every day, 200 milligrams for 1 month. And it went from 700 down to 45. That's an insane recovery in that short amount. Like, it's insane. Like, if you had just come off of all the supplements in general, it wouldn't have dropped like that. The glutathione really did cleanse my body. We were able to add one thing back in at a time until we found out what that supplement was. And it was definitely something that, was eye-opening to me. But I knew that glutathione was important for antioxidants and stuff like that, but I didn't realize how powerful it was for anti-aging too until I started looking into it. So my introduction was to glutathione was saving my life. From there, I went to study on it and realized what it can really do long term. And I'm like, this is one I'd say if it's my one thing that I would inject other than testosterone, it would be glutathione.
Yeah, for me, the 2 weeks leading up to my show, I was taking glutathione every single day, 200 milligrams. And now that I'm not, because you're putting a lot of stress on your kidneys and your liver and all that, even if you're not on steroids, being that lean and doing that much training and being that deprived, and your body's hurting. I didn't get sick, and my recovery from training, when it used to take me a month or 2 months, I was literally back to normal in 1 to 2 days. I also went to this place called Restore in Brentwood, Tennessee, and they did a glutathione drip for me, so I was able to rehydrate and everything. But again, for most people, my doctor, if you need a supplier, a source, my doctor prescribes it. If you can find a doctor on your own, that's fine, but I'm going to link my doctor down below. It's glutathione, and I'm prescribed 1 to 2 times a week at 200 milligrams. And so is my wife, because she just had her breast implants taken out. So she has a lot of detoxing to do. And what glutathione does, it goes to the liver, it attaches to heavy metals and shit like mercury, and it helps drag them and excrete them out of the body. It's a really brilliant supplement or injectable antioxidant.
Nutrient.
There you go.
Nutrient.
So that's what I got for hormones. You got anything else for hormones and injectables?
I do like, of course, just things like vitamin D and stuff like that
Yes.
you can take, but not, otherwise injectables. Glutathione is my main injectable, absolutely.
Yeah, and so as far as diet goes, food, we can argue all day. I do believe there's a case for the carnivore diet being healthy for longevity. I can make a case for the keto diet. I can make a case for a chicken and rice diet. I can make a case for a vegan diet. At the end of the day, choose healthier, non-bullshit processed foods. If you have the choice between chicken and sweet potato versus a Twinkie, choose the chicken and sweet potato. And also, we'll get into this later, but eating the right kinds of foods without these added bullshit things will actually lead to less inflammation. Inflammation isn't only bad for your joints, it's bad for your heart, it's bad for your body, it's bad for everything. I've tweeted so many times, inflammation is Satan. If you can decrease your total body and joint inflammation, you'll be in a much better spot.
And don't forget, with the time that we live in now, with COVID and everything that's going on, one of the main contributors to being really sick with that cytokine storm that happens is high inflammation. Now, the thing is, you can't see inflammation on people most times, right? So you'd have to get a test to technically know whether or not your inflammation was high. But if you're doing the right things to keep inflammation low, you're in a much better position if you did wind up getting sick to beat it without any complications.
Yeah, and that moves us into supplements, First thing I'm going to go into is the anti-inflammatory supplements. For that, I like to take 3 grams of combined total EPA DHA per day from fish oil. Number 2, I do really like black seed oil. Black seed oil is phenomenal. I make a product called Machine Motion, which has things like turmeric, which helps to increase your total body and joint and cartilage inflammation. And another thing that's not really anti-inflammation, but I'll put it in there, is antiviral replication supplements. Now, Jerry has one coming out. If he wants to, I'm going to let him, we'll announce that later unless you want to do it now. I don't want to give away the ingredients so people don't copy you. But basically for now, and even when he comes out with his, the more the merrier. Vitamin C, 1 gram twice a day. Vitamin D, 5,000 IUs once a day. Zinc, 30 to 50 milligrams once a day. Quercetin, 400 milligrams 2 times a day.
Very important supplement for the anti-aging.
Take those. I also take a product called Ambrosia Nectar for overall liver and organ health. Any supplements you'd add, because the one I really want to talk about, we talked about earlier, is actually under the stress management section.
So for me in general, like inflammation, it's really diet. Like the supplements really will add to it, but
always.
I had to learn how to eat, right? Because when I was younger, it was all about calories in, calories out, and whether or not I could get bigger. And you can get away with eating a lot of shitty food and still getting in shape.
Yes.
Right? As long as you control your calories. But my thing was I didn't necessarily, as I'm getting older, I don't feel good.
Yes.
Right? And look at it like this. We do everything to feel good. We go out and drink alcohol to feel good. We go out and we get more sleep to feel better and feel good. You have sex because it feels good. Everything is to feel good. Why wouldn't you eat to feel good all the time? And you don't really know that you don't feel good until you start eating a little bit cleaner or eating those low inflammation foods. Then you feel better. And if you go back and eat the other shitty foods again, the inflammation goes up and you feel it. So for me, the diet was important. The supplements, of course, added on top of it. But hands down, learning how to eat, not like a bodybuilder per se, but for longevity was a big thing for me.
And resistance training. You got to put that in there because what it does is it increases your bone density, your bone strength. As you get older, that goes down. And it also helps control you from being fat, increases your lean muscle to fat. It makes you healthier in general, also improves your overall health, such as even something called GLUT4, which is something that helps to shuttle carbohydrate and keep your insulin down and shuttle the carbohydrate into your cells, which is extremely healthy, control blood sugar. A lot of good things come from weight training, insulin sensitivity. So obviously weights.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's interesting thing about bone density, and I've actually been kind of looking into this lately, because right now I weigh 215. 215 to 212, I kind of fluctuate.
We're in the same weight class.
But I don't take up the space that I did when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, well, how the hell is it possible that I take up less space, but my weight is the same? So I started thinking about it, and the only thing that I've come to the conclusion was the weight training over the years has increased my bone density to now the bones are more dense and actually way more. And Phil Herndon actually kind of steered me towards this a little bit when he was still here. You know, he passed away a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
But it was really about, you know, I couldn't figure out like how the hell could I have been 215 before, but I had so much more muscle, and I'm 215 now. And I'm not necessarily fatter, but like I don't carry that muscle. So where did the weight come from? It's the bone density from training so long. You know, so
you're
now
not
like,
fat.
well, I'm not thin, I'm not lean. I'm like kind of like in between, kind of, you
You're
know,
in a
like almost
healthy
not
spot.
fat.
You're thick.
That's a good way to put it. I'm in a healthy spot.
Healthy
That's
spot,
good,
like
right?
being overly lean is not healthy.
Right.
You know, unless you're genetically predisposed to it.
Right.
I think like my son is very lean, but he eats like a fucking really hungry 13-year-old. So he's not like heavy. He's just a fucking small kid, you know? So beyond weight training, and this is something bodybuilders will hate me for, I believe in doing cardio every single day. I do 30 to 60 minutes. I just think it's healthy. Get blood. I'm not talking about fucking sprints. Go for a 20-minute walk around the block. Just stay active. Park further away from the door at Walmart. You know, things like that. Just fucking get off your ass. Most of us work sit-down jobs. Get off your ass. Move around. Be active.
And mix it up too. So I do, right now I do 4 days on the treadmill and I do 2 days on the Peloton. So on the treadmill, I just get up there, walk on a decent pace for 30 minutes. When I go on the Peloton, it's an HIT ride. So I kind of mix it up with a little bit of it, you know, to get everything in there. But it does help with longevity. It helps increase your hormones. Everything that, you know, the endorphins too, I feel is a big thing. When you're done with cardio, I hate getting started. By the time I'm done, I feel good. I feel energized in the rest of my day. I always do it fasted too. I feel good for the rest of the day. When I skip cardio, I'm kind of dragging in the morning. It does make a difference.
I'm up at 3:45 a.m. every day doing my cardio, and it makes you feel good. I'm able to get to the office, and there's no like, I need my coffee. Now, I do need my coffee. But nonetheless, I fucking enjoy cardio. My dog doesn't enjoy it as much. He's a lazy bastard. But nonetheless, cardio. And that doesn't mean just walk on a treadmill. Go outside, get some sunlight. If it's winter, put on a coat. Enjoy the weather. Enjoy the wind. Have fun. Be fucking human, bro.
And if you do that, you'll be less stressed, right?
Bingo. So another thing, sauna. Now sauna, I try to do at least 4 days a week, if not more. Sauna induces something called heat shock proteins. Heat shock proteins are essentially just amazing for your body's defense systems, for its mechanism. Put your body under stress. So your body's under stress. It produces all these things that makes your body a better warrior, so to speak. So nonetheless, there was a study out of, I believe, Switzerland that showed that, and this is a correlation study, so it's kind of a bullshit study, but it's all we got. And it's better than nothing, and honestly, it's better than a lot of science I've seen thrown around lately. Not going to beat my video banned, right? But nonetheless, there was a 40% decrease in overall mortality on those who use the sauna. 40%. So bottom line is, if you can, 20 minutes or so, 3 to 4 days a week, infrared or straight up old school wet sauna, whatever works for you, or 5 to 10 minutes in the steam room is even very effective. Go in there, elicit some heat shock proteins. It also burns calories and helps regulate your electrolytes and stuff. And I really like the sauna.
Yeah, so sauna for me, I haven't done it in a while, but I used to use it all the time, like after, because in my head I was like, hey, if I'm warm, I'm burning fat. Like that was when I was a teenager. So I was being healthier when I was younger, not realizing what I was doing.
Well, we just thought about that. Again, like, but when you're younger, you don't think about longevity. You think on gains.
Yeah, you think about, this is going to make me bigger? Yeah, I'll do it. This is going to make me live longer? No, I don't care. You know, I'm not worried about it at 20 years old.
It's one track, and this is one for and this is stress management.
Yes, important for, I'm sure for you too, Mark, but I have natural anxiety. I was born with it, and I was medicated when I was younger. The medications just did not work well for me, so what I decided to do is just be anxious, just deal with it my entire life. And what you don't realize is when you're always anxious, your stress levels are really high, and things that are external wind up really beating you down internally. and you wind up wearing yourself down. It wears on your immune system. A host of things happen from that external stress.
Yeah.
That, if you could somehow mitigate that, you'd have a lot better chance of beating these colds and being healthier and living longer. And I think a lot of people right now, they put themselves in positions at work, school, kids, whatever, that they're under high stress. And without managing that, I'm not saying you're going to go down to zero stress because it's impossible, but if you're not mitigating that and managing that stress, it can cause high blood pressure, it can cause panic attacks, heart attacks, it can cause a lot of different issues.
Stroke, everything. And this is something that I started taking last week, and this is the Del Pro. And this is a Jerry supplement. Here it is. As far as like Jerry was talking about earlier, man, it's like you'll still you get a little bit frustrated, whatever, but you get down to baseline a lot faster. And I've noticed for me, it's allowed me to be, and this year I've been Zen. I've been Zen as fuck. Like ever since I found God and I got all this, I'm spiritual now. I'm pretty Zen. I'm not the same Mark. You could probably, I'm not the same Mark I was 5 years ago. But it has helped me with the sense of well-being and also with having an even keel temperament. So I highly recommend this. It's not a sales pitch. I really do believe the thing works. I mean, if you want to buy it, I'm going to link it down below. But nonetheless, it's cool. But stress management, I can't meditate. I have ADD. You put me in a fucking corner and tell me to sit there and go,
And all you do is think about everything you have to do that you're not sitting, because you're sitting there that you're not doing.
Oh, bro, Jerry, I'm sore from our leg workout. But check it out. One time I went, you ever hear of a float tank?
Yes.
One time I went in one of those, and it was the worst 40 minutes of my life.
Because you're locked into it, right?
You're locked in. It's a small space, and you're floating. And I had a little cut on my leg, and because it's basically a shitload of Epsom salt and water. And so the Epsom salt was just eating at this fucking little abrasion. And I'm just like...
So you're not relaxed.
And every time I'd calm myself down, I'd float right into the bumper. Poof, my head would hit it. I'm like, fuck this thing. So stress management, however you do it, for me, weight training, cardio, certain supplements help it. But again, man, you got to manage your stress, and different people manage stress differently. Some people meditate, some do I can't, if you're like me and you fidget while you're fidgeting, you're not going to fucking go in a dunk tank or a float tank, whatever the fuck they're called. You need to find a way to calm yourself, whether it's playing solitaire, whether it's, masturbating, whatever it is you do.
Just not a float tank.
Yeah, don't masturbate in the float tank. So, I mean, that's all. Do you got anything else? Those are good. There's other ways.
There's a lot of information that you guys don't have to start with all of this. You can start with just adding a couple things here and there and eventually building up. And maybe you're doing some of these things already and didn't even know.
Yeah.
That there's, I'm doing this for this, but it's getting this effect too. The idea is, I'm 45, Mark's 40. And it seemed like around about 35, maybe between 35 and 39 years old, I started thinking, a little bit differently. And again, some of you young guys may not be thinking about this now, but I promise you will.
Please do.
You will. And some of you guys that are our age or older, you're already thinking about it. So hopefully this will help you guys kind of extend your longevity so that you live a more, I wouldn't say active lifestyle, but a more better version of you.
And for me, managing stress and stuff, just earlier this year, I did a video on it, basically just finding my answer, my why. And for you, it might be karma. It might be Allah. For me, it was God. So finding a higher purpose, whether it's some kind of spirituality, I think spirituality is great. I think having an explanation for the inexplicable is always a good thing. So think about that. I'm not trying to sell you on religion because I don't claim a religion.
Mark, can you explain to me that how electricity and water, we know doesn't go together, right? So I got here last night and asked him this question, right? Electricity and water don't go together, right?
Yeah.
We know that's bad. Well, how the hell do we have electricity in our body wrapped in water? Think about that. You start thinking about that stuff, think about that for a while. Your stress management will come down.
Or you'll just be confused. Anyway, so GFD Labs available at tigerfitness.com. Very excited. Jerry, where can they find you?
On biostraining.com, and you just look up Jerry Ward and all my social media will pop up.
That's cool, man. Well, we appreciate having you here. We're very excited to have this brand on Tiger Fitness. And hopefully everybody out there takes at least one tidbit. I'm not telling everybody to go out and get HRT, but just hopefully this educated you a little bit. Look, man, you guys have seen us on YouTube. I was on in 2011. You came on the scene, 2013?
So I was there in 2011, but I wasn't doing much.
Okay, so about 2013, I remember you popped on the scene. We've been on this bitch for 10 years. And you saw us evolve. Like you saw me stand in front of a backdrop banner saying boom really loud and cursing a lot. Now you just see me a little calmer, still cursing a lot, but a little more zen. And you've also seen very, very, very different phases of us. Right. So this is the mature, we don't want to die phase.
We should say more mature. Not necessarily mature yet, but the more mature than we were 5 years ago.
We're not as idiotic as we were.
We're growing up. We're not grown up.
No, not quite. We're in the kind of the preteen stage. Well, anyway, Jerry, thanks so much.
Thank you, Mark.
Be sure to follow him, subscribe to this channel, like this video, and click on the notification bell. Thanks so much. That's not a game.
What's up, Tiger Fitness crew? Jerry Ward here from GIFT Labs, and we're here today with, of course, Marc Lobliner to tell you guys about Delparol. So Delparol is an anti-anxiety product that I created. Because me, myself, I was born with anxiety, and I've lived with it my whole life. And I was always looking for something to take off that edge, so it just made my day a little bit better, and I could just stay calmer. And CBD worked really well for a while. Very expensive price tag. I knew there had to be a better option. That's where Delparol came in. So when I created Delparol, there are tons of different studies and information out there, which you guys can check yourself. An amazing product that helps you stay level. You can still get excited, you can still get upset, but it brings you back down to baseline very quick. And it also helps you just have an overall better sense of well-being throughout the entire day. So if you guys are looking for an anti-anxiety product, a well-being product, Delparol is the product for you guys.
And I take it myself. I love it.
And I've been taking it, of course. So, you know.
Of course.